Rumor on the street is Six Flags Magic Mountain is potentially going to be getting a Giga coaster. And I'm with my good buddy Matt Carls, and we're going to discuss every aspect of this potential coaster and rumor to really kind of tell if it's really a real thing, or could it really happen, or could it not. Starting off, how you doing, Matt?
I'm doing great.
I am great too, because Six Flags is now starting to build some really cool looking coasters, and they're working with Intamin again, and that's great news.
Finally, somebody is, right?
Right? Cedar Fair, get with it. So as far as this Giga coaster goes, there's two locations within the park that really could potentially fit this type of magnitude of a coaster. The first one is, we will see Viper get the axe, and this area, as you can see here, is massive. I mean, there's really a lot of different layouts the park can really work with for a Giga in this location. Plus, it would hopefully interact with the main entrance as guests walk to and from the main park entrance there, which would really provide some really cool guest interaction. So the other area is, there's rumors floating around the park that this massive theater that is located just to the right of Full Throttle, this is the Golden Bear Theater, and this really is a really large size theater. Apparently the park doesn't use it anymore, and now the rumors are they're tearing it down, which again, this would provide a very large plot of land to work with. So we could see potentially a Giga coaster be located here. The park would definitely have to play off the terrain here, which is not a bad thing, and interact with some other coasters. Again, that's definitely not a bad thing. So I think the safest bet, if the Magic Mountain was getting a Giga, it would probably go in the Viper area. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, let's talk about the two different locations, right? The Golden Bear Theater is down below the mountain, right? Yep. It is a large amount of area, and it hasn't been used in, like, I can't remember the last time. I go out to not Spearmint. I go out to Magic Mountain about monthly. I can't honestly remember the last time it was used. It was probably like a year or two before COVID hit, so it hasn't been used for much of anything.
Yeah.
It's a lot of land, but it's right at the base of the mountain. So if you're going to be building a Giga or anything like that, interacting with that mountain would maybe make it a little bit odd.
I think it'll be really cool. It depends how they play it. You know, if they really want to do like more like a Sky Rush layout that's just bigger, that has, you know, kind of goes over Comet. There's a lot of cool things. If it is Intamin, that they could do, even if it's a B&M. But I don't. If it is B&M, we're going to get to the manufacturers here next. But if it is B&M, I don't see it fitting in this area, just due to theory from the base of the lift hill to the bottom of the first drop is around 740 feet long. We pulled the measurements, and it's really hard to fit that big of a lift hill in this area with the station located near the theater.
Not unless you wanted to climb like up the hill.
Yeah.
Which would kind of make the lift hill look smaller, which I don't know.
Yeah, they play off the terrain. They could have a 260 foot tall lift and then a 300 foot tall drop. Kind of what Kings Island did with Orion.
Yeah.
But as far as the manufacturer goes, I mean, right now Six Flags is working with B&M, they're working with Vekoma, and they're working with Intamin. So that's great. All we need now is Six Flags to work with Mock Rides. Then we'd all be completely satisfied. But if it's Intamin, that's great. Intamin has not built a Giga coaster since, I-305, I believe. In 2010 was the last Giga that Intamin built.
That sounds right.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So obviously B&M is built a Leviathan and Fury and Orion, but typically B&Ms are a little bit more money involved with that. So,
well, at the same time, I mean, B&M hasn't built a Hyper or a Giga all that recently, though, either. I mean, kind of the big trend of this was more 10 years ago, right? So,
true.
Pretty much any manufacturer's probably in the game. Maybe even Zamperla is in the game for building a Giga.
Well, what's interesting, too, is Great Adventure was rumored to get the Giga.
Yeah.
And, there's so many different rumors from different sources, so there's a lot of truth to that. And that project is not a Giga now, maybe in a couple years. So maybe Six Flags pushed the Giga to Magic Mountain, because Magic Mountain is posting all over their social media for the last few months little hints about a Giga. Now, chances are they're just trolling us and basically giving us a hard time about it. But there is some truth. Maybe it is. Maybe they are planning a Giga. So I think if Magic Mountain does get a Giga, I predict it's going to come from Intamin, and I'd be 100% sold and okay on that. What do you think?
Sure. I think that it's Six Flags, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to spend a lot of money. I think one...
Very minimalistic for a Giga.
I think that one manufacturer can probably eliminate would be that it's a mock. B&M has been working with Six Flags to make a inexpensive version of several of their different rides, have they not?
The Wing Coaster and the Dive Coaster.
Yeah. So if they can do a minimalistic Six Flags dive coaster, could they do a minimalistic Giga that would fit over in the Viper plot and would easily just run over like the entrance and that, the valet turnaround area right there over by the sheriff's station? There's a lot of room. If they do a right angle by X2, it could fit an inexpensive.
Yeah, I would be totally okay with that. B&M, obviously, Fury is fantastic, and they're all really good, the Gigas. And Orion's more or less, to me, a shorter, condensed version of a Giga,
Sure.
And that still costs $30 million. So we already covered where, the manufacturer. Let's talk about when. I predict it's definitely not coming in 2024. These type of projects take a lot of time, so I think the earliest would be 2025 at this point.
Yeah, it's way too late in the season right now.
So
we're
I think
talking about next year. So.
2025 with an outside chance of 2026. And then, how large do you think the Giga Coaster is going to be? I think we already kind of covered that. Being it's not going to be Fury size as far as the length goes. I don't really see them stretching the height more than 325. I can see them maybe doing like 300, maybe 305, more or less play off the drop, make the drop larger.
Yeah, big drop is really probably the only thing that's going to be. I mean, look at their other, when they went hyper, they went Giovanola, right?
Yeah.
So they went as inexpensive as they could, and you can kind of see it's like a compact ride, right? Like it's all about the drop, and then
Helix is for Goliath.
Yeah. So I would think if they did a discount Giga, it's going to be all about the drop. Maybe it's a really tall drop, or maybe it's something cool, like it drops off the mountain, or
I would be cool with that.
Yeah, just something that's like gimmicky, and there's not much probably after that. So
now
that's how you save money, Six Flags style.
Yeah, and I get that. I think it'd be around just over 5,000 feet long and feature a drop of 300 feet if they went Giga. I don't see it.
What's the shortest Giga right now?
Orion,
what is it at?
Actually, it might be I-305 or Orion and Leviathan. They're all really similar. While Matt's looking that up, what's crazy about this is Universal Studios Hollywood is going to be getting their Fast and Furious coaster that's going to be opening up around the same time span in 2025 sometime as of now from what we know, which is awesome because that Intamin multi-launch coaster looks legit and could really be in the running for the best coaster in California. Now, with that, what's Knott's Berry Farm doing? Because just imagine all the rumors for Knott's Berry Farm, just like Great Adventure, were Giga. And now the rumors kind of went away, and Knott's Berry Farm is severely suffering from high-capacity, reliable coasters. And now with Magic Mountain being rumored to get a Giga, wouldn't that be like crazy to think that Magic Mountain would get a Giga before Knott's? If this comes, if this really happens, I love the move by Six Flags. That's a competitive move, kind of undersweeping what Knott's Berry Farm could potentially be planning on doing, and marketing as California's only true Giga coaster is fantastic. So, what did you find as far as the lengths go?
Yeah, I-305, Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion is the shortest. It's 5,100 feet. I mean, the longest of all the ones that we listed out was only 5,500 feet. So, yeah, somewhere probably in that zone would be a nice short one.
If you look at, they're all really solid rides, and they're all the best coasters in the park for the most part. So, if Magic Mountain were to get a Giga,
I don't know about Orion being the best in the park, but it's arguably maybe
most part.
Okay,
yeah,
it's arguable it could be the best. So,
but it's like my fourth favorite there. But that's a whole other video topic. But anyways, Magic Mountain before Knott's, that'll be really cool. What do you guys think? Is there any truth to these Giga rumors, and where exactly could this thing get built at? If you want me to create a mock layouts for how they can fit a Giga at Magic Mountain, be sure to give the video a like. Also, check out my merch store, KeepRidinCoasters.com, for all the great coaster merch. And with all that being said, guys, Matt, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. And remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.